welcome to Union's first community call here in Discord. Give me just 1 second to figure out how to share my screen, and then we'll dive right into everything that we've been up to lately. I think it's been a while since we did a community call. It's not really like Union team style, to be honest. We more like yap on Twitter and just try to ship stuff. But happy to share with everyone kind of what we're up to and what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. All right, first community call, everyone. Will probably take like about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer overall. And we're going to go through about everything that we accomplish in Union. There's some stuff that we still cannot share, I'm afraid. So I won't cover that in the community call, although we'll be alluding to some stuff on Twitter as well. So first of all, a bit on the ecosystem and what we accomplished with the company. So biggest thing on my end, right, as the CEO, was obviously being able to announce that we raised 12 million from some of the best investors out there. Means that Union is very well capitalized right now for the imminent growth of the ecosystem. For us, most of all, it means that we've been able to expand the team, increase our marketing capacity, our BD capacity. Means that we can now actually spend more time with ecosystem projects, by both funding them in pre-seed stage to build out their products, as well as me personally and the team providing them with legal support, BD support, and technical support. On top of that, the gracious and lazy sloths decided to support us through an echo round. Very happy to have them even be more on board right now than they already were. This is more casually, actually, but we launched the Goblin Mode NFT. For those who might have been a bit surprised by this, since we already pre-announced the Whale Sharks, actually in the early days of Union, we referred to ourselves as the Goblins. And the original reason for that actually was that a product owner saw us coding at a conference. And especially Darth Goblin, our principal engineer and cryptographer, was hunched over so much that this PO basically told him in his face that he looked like a fucking goblin. And the next day, every one of us switched to Goblin PFPs and started using that terminology. So this is a bit of a throwback to that portion, like the hardcore ugly dev side of things. We might be like granting some more rewards to early contributors, maybe related to goblins, but the Whale Sharks is still the main reward for being an early supporter and participating in the trusted setup ceremony. So expect like a lot of like activations related to this to go live in a couple of days. Obviously, Azure and Finance, we've been highlighting them. Excited about both projects. Azure is the official liquid staking partner that we'll be working with for Union, for our own token, but also for some of the DeFi protocols that we're integrating with that will be powered by Union. And Fluton is working on set DeFi protocols using intense and fully homomorphic encryption to provide full MEV protection. We've been working together with both teams so far, and it's been an absolute blessing. We started on the Union YouTube channel, and we're expanding on that with our marketing hires as well. We worked with Blockworks for a while now on certain research regarding interoperability as well as settlement. So expect more like formal research to come out of Union as well. And finally, of course, the Union Foundation that provides us with the legal backbone that we need to truly start going towards mainnet, a token, and everything else that's necessary as a crypto project. With that, we brought on board Brad. Brad previously worked for the Zilliqa Foundation, wide experience in fundraising and foundations. So very happy to bring on board that experience as well. Partnership-wise, our latest ones, of course, we've partnered specifically with Avalanche to work out on specific connections for all individual Avalanche subnets. So that basically provides even more seamless interoperability. What I'm really excited about is partnering with NodeKit, personal friends of us, to basically work towards doing the first sub-second bridge operation. I've talked about this before on Twitter, but fundamentally, of course, Union can generate CKPs extremely quickly, but at some point you run into network I/O latency, bandwidth limitations, and at that stage you need to be tightly integrated with validators themselves. You can't just be solving and relaying in between chains. You need to be part of the chains themselves to achieve sub-second latency, and that's what we've started out researching and building with NodeKit. And finally, our AORI partnership. This fuels into our ecosystem projects. So Fluton benefits immensely from this. And here we work on basically the intent-based mode that testnet 9 and mainnet will provide as an alternative way of doing transfers and DeFi operations. With this, we basically get access to market makers, solvers, and parties with large amounts of capital to power everything that we're doing for Union. Very happy with this as well. I'm happy that they were willing to partner with us. The AORI team is extremely intelligent. So happy that they've chosen us and looked at our tech and thought the same of us. For some of the tech updates, I'm going to leave this to our CTO, Cor, who's going to talk through some of the stuff that we've now finished and that will actually be in testnet 9. Some of you have all been wondering, like, why the long wait between testnet 8 and testnet 9. And the reason for that, to be honest, is that we did, I would say, approximately 2 years of development and research in between these two testnets, in the sense of the new features that have gotten in, the refactors that have occurred, the performance increases that we managed. Cor will talk through
Yeah.
each of these briefly, but extremely proud of what will be going live soon.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's called testnet 9, but I'd say it's like easily twice as big and complex as testnet 8 in terms of feature set, efficiency, speed gains. So I'm ultra excited about testnet 9. So yeah, welcome everyone, especially all of the sloths in the community here. I'm Cor. So first, really big improvement is state lenses. Now, why are state lenses so cool? When you fundamentally look at IBC, which is the basic standard that Union implements and like the most secure standard for transferring assets and data, is that if you go from one chain to a different chain, it's quite good. But if you want to go beyond that and go into L2s, L3s, etc., you basically need to replay messages by like sending new messages. Because you're doing that, you're losing a lot of the advantages. Now, with Union state lenses, we're actually recursively proving state of secondary, tertiary, or beyond chains in order to do instantaneous transfers. So if you look at the image here, if you go from the left side to the right side, then as an application developer, you can just immediately send your data and assets, and it's really fast and good, which is great. Now, this is already a huge improvement, and many builders that we're working with, such as Nomos, Abstract, Azure, they're very excited about this because especially more complex protocols, they can instantly execute their intents. Now, this leads us to intents themselves. So this is already really cool, but if you are going to transfer to an ecosystem with a bit slower finality, for example, Arbitrum officially settles every week, then you want to be able to execute your messages way sooner than that by already letting market maker fulfill your intent even before the message has been sent. Now, this is cool, but it did require like a lot of changes in order to make it really fast. So we created a custom IBC stack. We did really throughout thorough EVM gas optimizations, and by this we're able to do like these sub-second transfers that Kyle was talking about earlier, which is super cool. Secondly, many of you all participated in the MPC powered CKP setup. At ceremony.union.build, we're officially by far the largest zero knowledge contribution ever done. So that's very cool. And all of this MPC data is being fed into testnet 9 to make testnet 9 way more secure. So now when you're using testnet 9, you will be already using all of the security that the community has gathered through their contributions inside of the ceremony. Also, Kaan and Abdullah together really aimed super hard and laid all of the move foundations. Actually, on testnet 9, we already did the first move transfers, which is very cool. And they will be released shortly after the main testnet 9 launch in an update, allowing you to do transfers to move-based ecosystems such as Movement, Aptos, and Sui. So with intents, proving speeds themselves have become less relevant. However, we still also improved Galois proofing speeds for if you don't want to rely on the market maker and just want to rely on finality for even faster proofing speeds. And with this, we also laid the foundations for GPU-based proofing, potentially cutting proofing times down from 6 seconds to less than a second in the future. And lastly, we also have upgraded all of the core components. So we're on the very newest Cosmos SDK 52. We're on the very latest Comet BOS, which is now based on Comet BFT1. And we're using Cosmos 2.0, which lets developers use all of the cool new features. So that was quite a lot. But yeah, what do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, no, thanks for going down. Yeah, for people wondering about how do like the intents and the proving speeds relate to each other, the way intent-based bridges work, crosswork, etc., is that a message passing bridge is still used for solvers and market makers to be repaid. The way we combine it in Union setup right now is obviously the ZKP layer is used for repaying the solvers. And the good advantage of getting this even faster is that solvers become more capital efficient. So right now, solving is really only reserved for like Jump and a few other really big parties that have a lot of capital that rebalance periodically, because rebalancing for cross takes, I think 30 minutes at the moment. Over Everclear takes like an hour, hour and a half. And so with Union, by our fast proving speed, we can basically provide this service in just a couple of seconds. And that makes this a much more compelling product overall to use for not just like end users, but also for more sophisticated market participants. I'm really like excited about how these two features are going to combine. So I think Core, even though you say like it is less relevant, I think it's still its core is actually really relevant and truly makes the whole product suite far more compelling.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
On to next up. So a lot of you might have encountered Union this way or even been present at some of these community events. But we have different chapters right now in different global regions. I think our biggest right now are in India and in Turkey, although we have quite a big presence in Latin America as well. For me, it's extremely cool to see Union take a life of its own like this, for us to reach out to more developers, to more builders. And I really want to model Totally vision into this, be more aligned with Solana and how we like actively support builders, build out this ecosystem and stay really product driven and keep like investing into attracting that. So expect to see a lot more in the near future on this as well. Now on the research, so we published a new article, Stay Hooked, on how we can basically facilitate bridge transfers without needing the approval flow in our EVM deployments. For me, that's like actually a really big UX feature to be able to add, because overall, I think one of the things that at least I find most annoying about crypto is multiple wallet pop-ups when I'm doing something. So with this, the UX becomes even sleeker, even leaner, and in the end, it is actually a core technology that you have to use here. So you have to think at a smart contract layer, how do we both keep it secure so that you don't have vulnerabilities related to infinite approvals? And at the same time, how do we make the UX great for you guys? And I think with this, we've managed to do that. Union's research department is cooking up some new big articles, and actually, in 7 days, they'll be working together again with the Dutch National Bank, doing a few sessions on how to leverage ZK technology in ledger of ledger technology. That's why recently from the research department, you guys haven't seen any new articles, but I think we'll soon be seeing a lot of new publications as well. Now, of course, the big awaited alpha that I guess a lot of you guys came in for is regarding testnet 9. When testnet 9, we are working insanely hard to get this shipped to you guys. So expect to hear news on this like any day now. With testnet 9, we have not only like the same application and network as you guys interacted with before, we have a whole host of new features, new ways to get involved with Union, to help us test out the network, to reward for past work done so far, to provide like clarity and overview of everything that you've contributed so far to, and as well to help the Union ecosystem. So one single location to basically get an overview of which protocols are integrated, how to support those protocols as well, and how to get as much exposure as you possibly can. So really excited to roll that out to everyone as well. Keep your eyes out on Twitter, and don't worry. If you've been with us for a long time, we will be rewarding that as well. So super excited for testnet 9. So we've rushed through the slides already up to the questions. Lovnish, do we have any questions in the threads? And otherwise, people just drop them in the chat right now. All right. I see one question from Crypto Goku on integration with Polygon's egg layer. So the integration into the egg layer is almost complete, actually. And the next stuff that we're working on is actually out of the egg layer. And that's a slightly more complex portion here. That's where we have to do a little bit more development. So far, for those like who are a bit more technical and are interested, like what does it involve? Actually, it involves us needing the get proof RPC on egg layer nodes. So egg layer nodes mimic basically EVM L2 nodes themselves, but not fully. So we're leveraging part of our tech stack right now that we have on how we support, for example, Arbitrum and Scroll, and backporting that to support the egg layer in full. Expect this to come like a little bit into testnet 9 because the egg layer itself on the code base also fluctuates a lot. So overall, like it's basically two high velocity technical projects trying to integrate with each other, which is always a bit difficult to do.
Yeah, so to answer regarding testnet 9 publicity, yes, it will be fully available to the public soon. For some developers, we're already integrating. They're already using some of the internal APIs that we're exposing, and together with those developers, we're making sure that integration guides, etc., will be really good so that everyone can build whatever they want.
My question is pretty simple. I'm asking about the Wishak NFT. So my question is this: how is it going to be distributed? Like entry into this much anticipated NFT collection. How is it going to be? Is it going to be a whitelisted, or are there going to be like some achievements that those people that have participated in the former testnet activities, or maybe there will be a way to distribute it to the community?
Yeah. So I don't know the exact like technical methods that we have set up right now, but 100% of the whale sharks are going to be distributed to community and supporters that we've had so far. For now, I don't think we've published the criteria, but your chances are basically 100% if you're a contributor to the trusted setup ceremony. Now, we still have a lot of whale sharks left over after that. Those will be distributed based on various achievements over testnet 8 and testnet 9. With our testnet dashboard as well, you will be able to see if you qualify for this. So ahead of time, before the whitelist goes live itself and the NFTs are minted, you will be able to show what your level of eligibility is, if you will get an NFT guaranteed, or if you would need to like be online really quickly for the secondary batch. And with that, there will be full explanation as well. Yeah, so testnet 9, when does it go live? I already kind of shared some information on that. We're trying to get that live ASAP for everyone. But like with testnet 8, which I think like compared to other chains, testnets actually was incredibly stable and quite high quality. We want to deliver the same here and make sure that when we ship it, it's actually good and fully tested. We're in that stage right now. So we are now running through all of the different operations that you can do with it. We're running transactions at scale to see what the failure percentage is, etc., and fixing any of those long-standing bugs out there. So once that's all done, we'll give testnet 9 over to all of you, and you can ape in on it. For how long we run testnet 9, not sure yet, but testnet 9 is the same code that will go to mainnet. So this is really like the final kind of test race for everyone to try to break it, and for us to see if indeed like this is fully production ready and for us to go to mainnet with. So that will take at least a month and a half, I think, for us to be confident into that. And of course, we try to like get to that stage as quickly as possible because we have builders that want to actually use our product. We have an ecosystem that relies on this base functionality being live. So for us, it's extremely excited to actually leave the testnet phase and go into mainnet. For various things that you do on testnet 9, you will be able to get experience, achievements, and a lot of other stuff as well. So testnet 9 is where like you can really see your kind of contribution to the union all in all. But as well, with testnet9 going live, we've actually indexed all history across testnet 8 and some data before that as well. So don't be afraid if you've been contributing for a long time. We will be rewarding you for that too.
And yes, I did see people screaming break everything in the chat. When we launch testnet9, please do try to break it and like actually make it as broken as possible, because that's what we learn from, right? Like if we think it's perfect, we make it go live, and then next day you guys will have done such a high amount of transfers that it breaks anyways, then I will be very happy, because that's very valuable feedback and something we can improve upon. So really, like when it goes out, like go out.
I saw Union being approved for the ROFA for Berachain ecosystem. So I don't know how is distribution going to be like. How is the team thinking about implementation of the RFA?
Yeah, so part of it goes to people who supported us during testnet 8 and testnet 9. So if you've been with us for a while right now, you will benefit from basically this program. On top of that, we're using this program as well to incentivize union ecosystem projects. So incentivizing staked union tokens to be sent to Berachain to participate in DeFi, using it for various tokens that we're bridging over to incentivize liquidity. That's kind of how we're thinking about this right now. We obviously want this to feed back into Berachain. We think that's kind of the most successful way to participate in that ecosystem. And in the end, we want these incentives to end up in all of your hands, basically. With this, we would choose a good division as well. So it will partially be volume based, but partially be transfer based. And that means that this isn't just intended for whales. We want to make sure that a portion of these rewards go to basically regular users as well, who might not have the largest amounts of capital, but are the most active and the biggest supporters. On that, basically, this will probably go live in a tiered way, where we won't spend all of these incentives immediately, but make sure that they are available to Fluton, to Azure, to Settle X, and other projects at Leverage Union.
When the testnet9 start, are you going to end the ceremony, or will still continue?
Yeah, so the really fun thing about serial knowledge ceremonies actually is that they can theoretically continue forever. So basically, after every contribution, a new checkpoint is created, and then this checkpoint can be used. So you see this in testnet9, which means that for testnet9, we have all of the contributions that have been done so far. So for mainnet, we will just keep the ceremony running, most likely, and then just day before mainnet, we take that checkpoint and you inject all of the contributions into there, which is really cool. And then you may even foresee a future where you just keep running it after mainnet even, like if there's a use case for this. So yeah, it's a very flexible setup. But yeah, it's cool how the security benefits just are compounding and like ever increasing, making Union more and more secure. Yes, the ceremony is still on. You can go to ceremony.union.build if you like zero knowledge cryptography, you want to contribute. It's a cool experience. I'm not sure what the wait times currently are. Last I checked, it was a few weeks because so many people want to contribute. But maybe it's all right now.
Thanks everyone again for joining this community call. We'll be hosting another one in a month, and from then on, just regularly doing it. Next month, we'll probably be discussing how well testnet9 is going and potential mainnet timelines, I hope. So for everyone, keep your eyes peeled on our Twitter and our Discord for announcements going out soon. And thanks everyone for supporting us throughout this journey so far.
Yes, thank you all. Very happy that you were all here. Thank you for sharing this moment with us.